Songwriter Soup.
I really felt like I was 100% in the staff songwriter mode until Emily Marchbanks came to me. I didn't know her, and she wanted to help me make a record.
Healthy recipes for not losing your mind and your money in the songwriter business.
And it was that quick. Anybody listening to this, you got to pay attention to those moments where you don't even have to think to make a decision, because they keep happening as life goes on. And those are the roads you should walk down.
We are going.
We're going.
Welcome to Songwriter Soup.
Welcome.
Y'all, what a day. If you can't tell by Laura's outfit, we're feeling spicy.
It's a spicy little moment. I'm feeling myself because I feel like we have the fanciest, pantsiest guest in Songwriter Soup history.
Dress down. Fancy, but dress down.
I dressed up. Mama, you can do whatever you want to do.
You know what it is last week was Americana Fest, and I had to be glammed every day.
You're tired, and I get it.
And I was like, no glam.
No glam, and I get
that.
that.
And when you said it's on camera, but it's low-key, I was like, okay, I'm just going to put a little mascara
Just know
on.
I needed to do this for you.
Okay, I love that.
Miss Brandy Clark is here. I can't believe I'm saying that. Just one of the most decorated songwriters, I think, like in modern history.
Oh, wow.
You're on everyone's short list of like, oh well, fuck Brandy Clark. I mean, it's like you're like the person version of I Can't Make You Love Me. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
do you know what I mean? Like that's
Laura, that's so nice.
Am I wrong? Like I feel like the songwriter community mentions like 5 songs, and I Can't Make You Love Me is just one of those songs, and I feel like they mentioned 5 songwriters, and Brandy Clark is one of the 5.
Wow, that feels really nice.
Well, it's true.
You know, inside of yourself, you don't feel like that. You know, and I'm not one of those songwriters that's had a gazillion hits, and so that feels great.
Well, I'm glad. Good. I'm glad to say it. Yeah. It makes me feel so happy. To let's hand out the flowers. We don't need to be waiting for funerals to say this shit. Just it's real. It's real for so many. I mean, it's such a common conversation in the writer room. Just how fucking good you are.
Oh, thank you. That's a lot, especially coming from you because you're great.
Oh my God, thank you. Thanks so much.
It's a common thread too to not think that in your head.
Yeah,
we hear that when we're talking in here all the time.
I think it's how you stay good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know I don't know anybody who's really very good at anything who thinks they're great.
Don't you just love that? And then the people who think they're great have to use so much of their bandwidth to sell that they're great that they are in the way of their own art, which is a waste. So yes, circling back to what you just said, best approach. Like this is all
so true.
You know what I mean? Like it's studenthood for life. Like
yes,
we're always learning.
Because I know some people I'll just say songwriting because that's what we're talking about, who've been highly successful, and hats off to them. That I don't know what they really do, but they end up on really great stuff.
Yeah.
But I think they have to work really hard. I mean, it all gets us to the same place. That talent's no different than mine or yours.
Surely.
It's a talent.
Yes.
And it's a hustle. But they spend a lot of time fighting to be in certain rooms you know
what you just said that's really interesting. I don't feel I hustle at all. I don't think hustling is in my job description.
Right.
And I appreciate a person, the type of writer you're describing, they're unifiers. And they're movers and shakers, and they make stuff happen, and they circle and they pitch. They become their own
I like working with those kind of people because I'm also like you. I mean, I think of myself as a hustler because I grew up playing sports.
Yeah.
But not that kind of hustler.
Not that kind of hustle.
And so I love to align myself with someone who's good at that.
Same. Because if you're in a room with one of those types of writers, that the song's going to get to the place it needs to go. It's going to get talked about and sold, like maybe oversold. Not the worst thing. But like, you know what I mean? Like that's a really great character in the writing room, but I am not.
It's funny because I would think you're a hustler in a different way.
Oh, baby.
You know what I mean? Like,
hell yeah.
Like you're a hard worker and hustle.
Totally.
But not the hustle.
But not that kind. Like I feel like the hustle for me is about being a better writer.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get better. And I know that's you.
Yeah.
I mean, we're like, songwriters. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
We're people that obsess about us.
Well, yeah. I mean, you mentioned "I Can't Make You Love Me." Like that. That's a song. When I know you think the same way. When I get up to write,
Mhm.
I'm trying to write one of those songs.
Yes.
Like it doesn't happen often, but that's the mindset.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. And same. Connie Harrington was on here.
Oh, I love Connie.
She's so great.
I mean, talk
Same
about somebody
approach.
who's
Same
been
approach.
great, consistently great commercially for a long
Hell.
time.
And talk about no hustle of that particular brand.
Right.
Only hustle for craft.
Crap.
Like she
Mhm.
is a craft hustler, but other
Yes.
than that, she's low key.
Mhm.
She's under the radar and then pops out more hits. And you're like, bitch, how you doing this?
It's like quiet.
yes.
Oh, I love Connie. I
Me
got to work
too.
with her a lot on the Lindyville record.
Oh,
You know.
okay.
And so,
That is oh, wait, I'm sorry. You keep going and then I will fangirl.
but that was. I mean, I've worked with Connie sporadically, but on that, I really worked with her. We worked really concentrated. It was a concentrated
Mhm.
effort, and Connie's she's an amazing writer, an amazing person, and she's also fun.
Oh my God, the
Mhm.
most fun. Tequila Connie.
Yes, when we would when we would finish a song, she would do her ding ding ding, and it would be time for everybody to take a shot of tequila. And I'm not really a drinker,
She's nuts.
yeah, but I would do a little bit of tequila, and she's just great.
She's nuts. Sorry.
Can I ask
Yes,
a question?
please.
Because I'm dying to know what an intensive with Connie looks like. Like, what was that? What did that?
I
Was
want to
that
know
like
too,
a
like the Lindyville
like a
experience.
retreat type?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Well,
tell us, get us in the room for
Yes,
a
here's
second.
what's funny
please.
about that retreat. So when I got asked to do it, the first time I got asked to do it, it was for Ashley.
Yes.
Ashley McBride was making a record. And so we went and we did a retreat, and then that turned into Lindyville. We did another retreat that became the Lindyville record.
So it wasn't a conceived concept album until the music started making it a concept.
Until we started to write those songs.
Oh man.
I mean, it was early on.
Mhm.
You know, I think Nicolette Hayford and Ashley had this idea
Brilliant.
to write songs that could live in the world of Dennis Lindy.
Mhm.
Because there had been a poster for Lindyville that
Mhm.
I remember it used to be at EMI. But Connie, so Connie was part of that. And here's what's funny about that group. It was myself, the first retreat, myself, Connie, Ashley, Nicolette, Aaron Ratier, and Jake Mitchell. And then the Lindyville record became Benji Davis.
Yes.
That was what changed. And I don't think that was a purposeful change. That just happened to
Probably
be the
scheduling.
next retreat,
Yeah.
you know. But what I realized right away in that group was I got there, and I mean, they were tying it on the whole day that we were writing. And, you know, I would do Connie's ding, ding, ding drinks, but not anything else,
Water.
you know? And so I wake up the next morning and I get up early and I thought, okay, this is going to be a lonely morning. Like, I'm guessing Connie will get up next, but then nobody else is getting up until noon. Wrong. It was like bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Whoa.
And I thought, these people are bros.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, that's incredible.
yeah.
That record is a think tank of songwriting.
Oh,
Literally, if you're just like, this is actually some good advice.
Yeah.
Like
Top to bottom.
just top to bottom, a study in, first of all, Nashville craftsmanship.
Mhm.
A. B. How to be funny without like being like clown funny. You got hokey.
Yeah.
It is such a I have blown Ashley up about this. Like I've been like, this record is just a tour de force, unbelievable. I was so proud of its like laurels. It just got so much attention. But yeah, if you're not familiar with that record,
It was a
circle
fun
back. It's
record.
so good.
Fun record. And you know, for me, that record did a lot for me to make my last record, because I had never because I made my last record with Brandy Carlisle. This actually goes back to Lindyville. And she had approached me about wanting to do a record, and I had always shied away from working with other artists as producers, because I had always heard you make a record with an artist, it's going to sound like them
Yes.
if they produce it.
Mm-hmm.
But John Osborne produced that Lindyville record.
Mm-hmm.
And it was such an amazing experience.
God.
Like, I remember I wasn't in town when he did vocals, and I can't remember where I was. I was somewhere on the road, but I got a studio and he just like told the engineer what he wanted, and it was so easy. And I thought, wow, John understands.
Mhm.
John understands
How to get himself out of.
Yeah, and he also understands like artist scheduling and just, how to make it work. And I thought maybe that would be good to work with another artist.
So it really affected your choice on the next record.
It did.
Wow, that's really cool.
And it also, it was just, it totally affected that. And just the power of, with Lindyville, it was 6 voices.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a little odd for me to sit and write songs with 5 other people.
Yes.
But it
At
was
the
good.
same time.
Yeah.
It's a lot for
Yes.
Nashville.
Yeah.
Like, that's sort of an LA number.
Yeah, and we would just be around this table. And so I had to let go of some things I think that were good to let go of.
Wow.
Like it let go of a lot of preconceived notions for me about how songs should be written, who should be producing, those sorts of things. It was really beautiful in that way.
It's such a reflection of your versatility. Like, I know you write by yourself. I've known you for a long time, and I've passed by, writing rooms where you're like, cool, I'm alone. Scooch. Like I'm right. The fact that I don't write by myself. Jesus, like phobic of writing by myself. Like, it sounds so scary. I have no, I'd have no one to like bounce stuff off of. I get very nervous when I'm alone and it's just me in there.
Mm-hmm.
So any number of people, I'll write with 1,000 people, but writing by myself, scary for me. So the fact that you can do that so well and then pop into a room where there's that many people and still like find your voice, which I can hear all over the record.
Well, thank you for saying that. What I've really tried lately is to just go with whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it's 6 people, then it's 6 people. Like, what can I bring?
Yeah.
And also to not always have to, I've been involved in some situations with people who move way faster than I do. And I'm like, okay, I don't have to keep up.
Wow.
Maybe my job is to slow it down when it needs to slow down.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's taken a long time to figure that out, though. Because I used to just try to keep up.
Because I can imagine being in a room with 6 people, you'd feel like there would be that natural momentum of like, man, I got to contribute. It seems like it would amplify going from 3 people, the norm, to 6.
Yeah.
Seems like it would amplify the need to have input, have input.
Yes.
See that.
That room, it didn't.
That's so good.
I think part of it might have been people like Aaron Ray Tierre, who is just chill, and just there for whatever's going to happen. I think that sort of helps.
Benji's good at that too.
Yes,
I love
Benji was great
Benji,
at that.
and I loved the song he sang. Unreal, because I've always loved his voice.
He's such a good singer.
He's such a good singer, and it's like he sounds like a bowl of cigarettes.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what I mean? And it's so grimy and gross, but just beautiful. His tone is somehow like, it's just like gravel. It's so good. But Benji's that way. Like when you get to those numbers, when there's that many people in the room, you do need to have a couple of like type Bs and just a couple of type As.
Type Bs.
Yeah.
Well, in that situation, Connie was always the type A. I don't think anybody else was. I think she sort of took on that role because she was the most experienced, and I think that really helped.
Kind of a band leader. I think of it like a band. Like you know a good band when people know how to get out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's actually the most important part of being a musician is knowing when to not play. And it seems to me you need a band leader.
Yeah.
Need somebody to go, hey, let's go this way, and then people kind of ebbing and flowing in
the
in
Yoda of
writer's
Music
session.
Row. It's an episode of
The Yoda.
Right.
yeah, Connie
That's the title of the
Harrington's
episode.
Title.
episode is called The Yoda of Music Row.
Is it really?
Yes.
Oh, that's such a good title for
Doesn't
her.
it's funny because I was like, you're such a mom figure.
Yes.
People so feel your maternal energy. And she was like, I don't feel like, well, no, I feel like the Yoda of Music Row. And I was like, done.
And that's the
Title found. Brandy, when you first started, I remember being I was observing maybe a little turmoil about whether to artist, because clearly you could songwriter all day long. You could songwriter all the way into the Hall of Fame 3 times over, no problem. But you had this, I remember there being turmoil about like, but I have this in my heart and what do I do? You know, and all of the weird rules that existed then that were harder on everyone that don't seem to exist as much.
Yeah.
Where I wasn't there during your decision making flip, but I was there during like your, I don't know.
Yeah.
Zone.
I think so. That's such a great question. And I can tell you exactly when I knew I had taken the right fork in the road. I moved here, wanted to make records, and just thought, well, after a while I thought, yeah, that's just not in the cards for me. And a lot of it was because I was gay and I didn't want to stay closeted. You know, that's a terrible place to be unless you're a mushroom. I always tell people, like, you know, like, you know.
Brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, nothing grows in the closet except mushrooms. And so I just sort of thought, okay, well, that's not in the cards for me.
Wow.
And so I was marching down writing songs, and I really felt like I was 100% in the staff songwriter mode. And I was, until Emily Marchbanks, who became my manager, came to me. I didn't know her. And she was so excited about what she had heard, which were some demos. And she wanted to help me make a record, her and Terry Elam, who they were at Fitzgerald Hartley. And it was that quick.
You were like,
I was like,
I'm going.
Yep, I'm going to do that. And I felt so excited, which is anybody listening to this, you got to pay attention to those moments where you don't even have to think to make a decision, because they keep happening as life goes on. And those are the roads you should walk down. And what happened to me was I jumped right in, made a record. And then as I'm like, I remember Dave Brainerd was the producer of my first record, being in his studio and getting the call that Miranda Lambert was recording Mama's Broken Heart.
Oh.
So it was like I started to have, like, a lot of things happened for me all at once after 15 years, you know, like for a lot of people.
Yes.
Overnight.
Yeah. And so
10 years later.
And so I never looked back, really, because I was making a record, and a lot of making my first record in particular for me, that record is full of songs that it pained me that they didn't get recorded, or they didn't get recorded and get out in the world in a way I would have loved.
Right.
And so I start marching down that road, and good things are happening to me on that road. But also my friends who I was coming up with, they're having like multiple number ones. And so there was a part of me as songwriters. Yeah. And so there was that part of me that thought, did I take the wrong fork? And the morning I knew that and I wrestled with that for a couple years. But the moment I knew I was on the path I should be on was Hold My Hand was nominated for a Grammy. And I thought that never would have happened had I not recorded that.
Yeah.
I'm exactly where I should be.
That's right.
And so I just, after that, I'd never really looked back. And, you know, and as time goes on, you know, like, you know, having hit songs as a songwriter, you make a lot of money.
A little wind at your back when you're trying to pursue an artist career too.
Yes.
Just it's a little bit of like, I can sustain the blow of having to wait.
Yes. But then as your artist career goes on, and my artist career never exploded, but it's progressed to a place where now I'm making money. And so it's like, okay, it all evens out.
Wow.
Do it the way, go with your heart. Be smart with your head. You know, I know this podcast is somewhat about money. So be smart, but I don't think it would have worked for me to stay over and try to write songs. You know, I still get opportunities to write songs for other people, like, but I think they come from my artist career. Like, I got called, one of the coolest things I've ever gotten to do was Reba McEntire's manager called me and said, Reba's hosting the ACMs. She wants to open the show with her and Miranda and Lainey singing a song. She doesn't really view herself as a songwriter. Would you step in and write with them and write this song for them to sing? Yeah.
Wow.
And so,
I love that.
So I write this song Trailblazer with Miranda and Lainey that I'm so proud of, that they opened the show with. It's Reba's biggest streaming song.
You're kidding.
No.
Wow.
I know. I mean, why MCA, wherever you are, put the thing out. Like, seriously, yeah.
Come on, guys.
Come on.
They're really close, actually.
Yeah. But
We'll send him a memo.
but that, those sort of opportunities, I'll get I got a text from Reba. Reba's been a bigger piece of my career than she realizes, But I remember getting a text from her. My last record had been out a while, and it's just a screenshot of her listening to She Smoked in the House.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I love this one. And I said, oh, thanks. I wrote that about my grandma. And she just reminds me of mama.
Oh.
And, so someone like, if I was just trying to get Reba to cut my songs, she wouldn't hear things like She Smoked in the House, and those songs matter. They matter to me. And it really fills my heart that they matter to other people.
I think it's fun that a few people have been able to put on like the Brandy Clark hat and pull it off, But to be honest, it's like no one can pull it off.
Oh, that's
like the way that you can. I'm echoing everything you just said. I feel like those songs, yes, they would hear them, but would they hear them?
That's a good point.
Do you know what I mean? Like you sell them like, like they are you. Even story songs where you're not even in them. I feel like that's another thing that you do so well is like embodying someone else's character vocally. Like, some of these things that you sing about, I know for fucking sure it has nothing to do with you as a individual, but you managed to sell the character. And I agree. It was fate. It was destiny. And I'm so glad that you picked that prong on the fork, because had you not, there'd be a lot of missing Grammys, and there'd be a lot of like country music that was absent from the American songbook. Do you know what I mean? Like, you embody like a throwback forward. It's like future past, some sort of like ubiquitous with country music.
Well, and I think I would have. I know I would always do music, but I think had I not taken that fork, I don't think I would have written as good of songs, because I think you have to, like I love a story song. And part of that is getting into a character and telling a story. There's not a lot of room for that in the commercial space. I mean,
only once in a while.
Yeah. And so I think had I been trying like, and it never worked for me when I would think, how do I get this song cut? How can I write a song that artist X is going to write? That never worked.
Yeah.
The songs of mine that other people gravitated to, like Mama's Broken Heart, Better Dig 2, even songs like Follow Your Arrow that I actually wrote with Kacey, those weren't songs where we were like, oh, we're writing a chart topper.
What they were, though, is that they were dividing lines. And they also gave people like me incentive to get weird. Like I'm grateful beyond, because when I moved here, I met you. You were like one of the first people I met. And I remember trying to break my weird.
Yes.
I was like, Laura, don't be weird. Just fucking follow the rules. Get this thing. It's a little puzzle you have to figure out. Right for men, like figure out how to solve the puzzle. And then Better Dig 2 comes out, and I'm like, oh, that would have, if in another life I wrote that song. Do you know what I mean? Like that's a weird, that's in my brand of weird. But at that point, there was no evidence of that shit on the radio. Like Mama's Broken Heart, absolutely not. There was no evidence of that on the radio until that happened. And then, I mean, shit. It's just.
Well, the best advice, some of the best advice I've ever gotten was from a writer. I think his name's Stephen Allen Davis. And we were scheduled to write for 2 days. And he was somebody that wrote almost exclusively by himself. But for some reason, he wanted to write with me. And I think it was for what I'm about to tell you. I don't think he knew this. I think the universe knew it. But in those 2 days, we didn't write. We just talked. And he said to me, at the time, truck songs were big. Remember that phase?
Oh, yes.
And actually, Shane
no.
McAnally and I wrote a song.
That 10-year window when trucks...
That decade.
Yes.
That entire decade where truckity truck hadn't been written but should have been.
Yes.
Anyway.
And Shane McAnally and I wrote a song I love called No Songs About Trucks.
Oh, my God. Sick.
That
Send it to me later.
Wade Bowen recorded, and it was a hit in Texas.
Oh, my God. No,
yes, I'll send it to you. But it was Stephen said to me, and it was just like out of the blue. It wasn't like we were talking about the truck songs. He said, there's a lot of these truck songs going on right now. And I said, yeah, and he said, and I bet to you, like, those songs feel like a 7. And I was like, I didn't say yeah, or, he said, but here's the truth. Don't ever try to write what you think is a 7. Whoa. He said, because the person who's writing that and being successful with it, it's their 10. He said, because they're passionate about it.
That is so brilliant.
So what you need to do is write whatever your 10 is.
Yes.
Man.
And that was just such great advice. He said, because don't ever write something, he didn't say this part, but what I took it as, don't ever write something that you don't like. Because if you think, I've got to dumb it down, he's like, the person who's good at that, they're not dumbing it down. Mm-hmm. That's not because they're not smart.
No, it's because it's their specialty.
Yeah.
Yes. Was there a time when you were playing by the rules and, well, there was, but where you noticed you wrote something you loved and it broke out?
It was the Miranda.
That I was going to.
Yeah,
yes, that's what it was.
I brought weird out of her. Thank you. You're so cute.
Even that story about you and her and Jimmy with "I Could Use a Love Song."
Yeah, like it was idiocy.
The organic,
just idiocy. It always fell out in 30 seconds. I'm sure that's the same with you and Shane and Kacey. I'm sure that's the case with Josh Osborne. Like the way songs fly out of you. That's when you kind of know.
Versus forcing the.
And even the force is fun. I don't disparage that zone for anyone, because learning the rules, I always say, in order to learn how to break the rules, you have to learn how to follow them. Like, you need to follow them before you break them.
Yeah.
But that's craftsmanship. To me, I always say bumper bowling. It's a phrase I use a lot on this podcast. Bowling. But I feel like if you learn craft, it's like you've just covered the gutter and you're going to hit a pin. You're going to hit a pin. Just throw the damn ball. As long as you have the craftsmanship down, you're going to, and sometimes you'll, strike. But where was I? I lost my hand.
From there, you get to the 10. You start seeking
and once you
10.
get weird, it's almost like you strike every time because of the point you're making.
Yeah.
Which is, I know better. Like, I understand better dig too. I follow your arrow, which we need to talk about at length for a minute. But like, that level of risk, you were taking risks, and you inspired Marin, guaranteed, because she was always a little left of, the middle, but that's funny. The middle.
That is funny.
Whoops.
Yeah.
But she was always that. But I think that writers that brought that out of her further took her more to her edge. She took me further to my edge.
Yeah.
So speaking of edge, follow your arrow. Is everyone familiar? Okay, we all
never
know.
heard it. What's that song?
Yes.
If you haven't heard it, go listen to it.
Literally, it is
Please.
It's a very special song to me, and there's a million reasons why. One is that the first time I heard it was at CRS. Were you there when?
I wasn't there. I've seen the video, but I was not there.
So Kacey is can do no wrong. We talk about her on this podcast constantly. I love her artistry.
She's
great. I mean? Unbelievable. But that song had a profound effect on me. I love going to CRS events, especially the one at the Ryman. I think it's the Universal one.
It is, which I've never been to that.
Go.
And it always seems like there's always a moment.
There's always a moment, and it's like, it's just this really like it fills my tank every time, just to be like, this is the industry at large right now, because every artist picks the song that is either putting them on the map, they want to be on the map, or the one that's going to be the disruptor, which I feel like is what Kacey chose.
She's always the disruptor.
Isn't she?
Yeah.
We love.
I think I was at that same show at the CRS.
It was
because I remember when
moment.
She did merry-go-round there.
Oh, I was there for that too.
Yeah,
and I died. I was like, I was like, this is the shit I want to write. But that one, Follow Your Arrow, is particularly impactful because I know full well that Kacey knew no one in that room was going to play that song. No one. And they gave her a round of applause and stood up. It was a standing ovation. It was the biggest moment of the day. And no one played it. And I know in my heart that Kacey was like, I know you're not going to play it.
Yeah.
I know you're not
You
going to
know
play
what's
it.
crazy about that song is, and I always, whenever I'll play it every once in a while, and when I tell people this, they don't believe me, but it's true. It was the lowest charting song to ever win CMA Song of the Year, and they
What the heck is
changed
this?
the rules the next year. I've always thought that was like a big victory. Like
What did they change it? The rules
I think it has
to?
to be top 20.
So then you were the one who got
Holy.
through before
Yes,
they changed?
because it was. I don't even think it was top 40. I think it was like maybe 48,
so the
49.
new rule is that it has to.
I could be wrong about that, but they changed it the next year. Maybe it's top 30, but I think it's
I
top 20.
am just.
And that felt like a massive victory. Like, and you know how when you get nominated for something, there's always, I never think about it until right when they announce your category. And you know, there's always that small part of you that thinks we could win.
Mhm.
I did not think that. I didn't think it's the only time there was no hope in my
There's
heart.
no way.
Yeah, literally.
There's
There's
no butterflies.
there
You're
was-
like,
there
It's not
was
a-
no, in fact, there was so little hope in my heart for it. And I wasn't down about it. I just thought,
just like
there's
assumed.
no way, you
Yeah.
know, we're here. This is fun. And then they called it. And I mean, I wasn't even ready to stand up. And so it was insane. And I do think someone said to me what you were saying about radio was never going to play it. But you
Never.
know, radio's the biggest block of voters for the CMA.
Of course.
And it was like, well,
because they were at the event.
yes. And it was like,
Right.
okay, that was where they could award it, was there.
And in a way, man, this is a tough subject, but I think they understand that they are beholden to their listeners.
Mhm.
I really am grateful that they didn't block that moment for
Mhm.
its award, because
Yeah.
they could have
Yes.
carried that same
Yes.
sort of like loyalty into their voting
Mhm.
system or whatever. I'm very grateful that they
Mm.
didn't.
Mhm.
And if that song gets one more stream,
Mhm.
it would be good for humanity. Like, it's just a great
Oh,
human
thank you.
song.
Well, and I want to side note something there. I say radio's the biggest block of CMA voters. I've been told that.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm a
I know.
CMA
We don't
board
know
member,
much.
but I don't know.
I love that.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I'm a board member much longer because I can never make it to the meetings. But I've always been told that the radio is
Yeah.
the biggest block of voters,
Mhm.
but I'm not the authority. So
Even still,
Yeah.
let's say it's not. The
Mhm.
fact that it won,
yeah.
the fact that country music at large decided
Acknowledged
that
it.
it gives
You know-
that gives me
Mhm,
hope.
mhm.
What I had to learn about radio, because with my second album, we did a country radio push, and I got to do a radio tour, which I actually loved. A lot of people hate radio tour.
Yeah,
I
they
kind of the former athlete in me liked it because it's like you're going in, you're trying to get the ad. It's like we live in a business that is so not like that quick,
Mhm.
but with that, like
Yeah.
you leave the station and the PD loves to tell you we're adding you.
Yeah.
Mm.
What I learned though, what's hard about what we do is that we serve different masters.
Yeah.
You know, like you just said, their
Wow.
listenership.
Yeah.
We're trying to create art. They're trying to sell ads. So they need to play things that are going to get the listeners to the advertisements so that people keep buying ads. I had a radio rep on the West Coast, Rick Young, who I loved, who told me that.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a song Joanna Smith recorded called We Can't Be Friends. It was a single, and I want to say the first ad week it got a ton of ads. So I was in Salt Lake City, and one of the PD asked me if I could play it because he knew I was a writer on it, and I said yeah. And when we and they were just like in tears. And when we left, Rick said, "That's one of my favorite songs ever." And I said, "Wow, thanks, Rick." We got in the car, and I said, "It's so crazy because the song did nothing." I said, "I mean, people added it, but it did nothing." And he said, "Well, do you want me to tell you why?"
Oh.
And I said, "Yes, please do."
Rush my
Because
soul.
I wasn't hurt by it at this point, you know. He said, "Well, I just heard that song and I loved it." He said, "But I don't want to hear it again because it rocked me." He said, "And for a song to be a hit, you have to be able to hear it not only multiple times a day,
Whoa.
but sometimes multiple times an hour."
Okay.
That's
Just-
heavy.
Can we give that a moment
Yeah.
of silence? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
If songwriters could fully grasp what you just said,
I've never been able to fully grasp it. So it definitely didn't change the way I wrote songs.
Well, the
but-
thing is
Yeah.
this is a business.
Uh-huh.
And to me, this is about ratio.
Mhm.
What you just said should all just apply as calendar ratio. Like if I want hits and I'm not an artist, so you have a different level of leverage, you can kind of dance around
Yeah.
because your income stream comes from several different things.
Yeah.
Mine, it comes from one place.
Right.
And if I just calendar management,
Yes.
3 bops, 2 saddies.
That's very, no, that's
Do you
really
know what I
smart.
mean?
3
Like,
bops
if
and
it's
2 saddies.
3 bops, 2 saddies. I
There we
feel like
go.
it's a smart
Yes.
approach. If you're just like, I want to be able to survive on this as an
Mhm.
income, but I want to move the world. I have, oh my God, the number of songs that I will like die on the hill. They're like the greatest songs. No one wants to hear twice.
Mhm.
They're gut wrenching.
Right.
They're painful.
Mhm.
And you want those because and here's the thing. Here's my favorite part of our job. My fucking favorite, hands down, my favorite part of our job is the theory of relativity.
Mhm.
One song hits one person and it changes their life forever for the better.
Mm-hmm.
One song hits 1 million people and they dance for 3 minutes. Both valuable.
Both valuable.
Equal valuable.
Yeah.
If it, like for me, equal valuable. But in the beginning of your career, you can't survive on the ladder.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do both. Or at least you have to establish yourself, earn the earnings. Do you know what I
Mhm.
mean? To justify more time put into that one direct hit, like the
Mhm.
one emotional direct hit that changes the courses of somebody's life. Like that's a big part of our job.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point in history, I hope it changes. We don't make any money on that.
Right. I hope that changes too.
I hope that changes. But like for right now,
Uh-huh.
in order to survive this weird swing of streaming and where our income just disappeared,
Mhm.
like 3 bops, 2 saddies for a little while.
3 bops, 2 saddies.
You know?
Yeah. Well, and the 2 saddies will help you write better bops.
One,
You know?
Get that saddie.
Yeah. Like
Kinda-
you gotta write. I remember Jody
Sadie to bop
Williams. Yeah.
ratio.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
remember Jody Williams telling me because when I was first trying to get a publishing deal, I was playing him a lot of songs and
Mhm.
he never signed me, but he was also very, very a big building block for me. And he took time with me, which is so nice, you
Yeah.
know? And he said to me, I was trying to write like more up-tempo songs and he was like, write the ballad. Like, don't make yourself write something that you're not feeling. He goes, and also a lot of times, this was back when artists weren't writing as
Yeah.
much. They were really like, there were artists and there were writers.
Yeah.
And he was like, you know, they're going to say they want an up-tempo song, but then when you bring them something that moves them, they're going to cut
They're
that.
going to cut it.
Ah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, The House That Built Me is a great
Mm.
example of something that hits both
Yeah.
bullseyes. Like,
Yes.
there's never a time that comes on the radio where I'm like, man, I'm not in the mood. Switch. Like, I've never,
Yeah.
ever switched the fucking
Humble and
channel.
kind.
Humble and kind.
I was-
Always wanting to
That's
hear
the
it.
exact song that was on my
Uh-huh.
mind just
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
It's like,
So
I
there
could hear
is-
those 1,000 times.
Yeah.
There's a way to thread the needle. I just think
Yeah.
it needs to be said that there isn't zero value in a song that needs to be heard once.
Yeah.
There's so much value in that.
Yeah.
So this is a podcast about money, sure. But like, this is also about like what gets us up in the morning. And this
Yeah.
job is how many times a day do you say, I can't believe this is a job?
I know.
Like, I think it's 100 times a day. I'm thinking it or saying it. I can't believe this is my job.
Yeah.
And the idea that I get to apply whatever we're talking about
Mm-hmm.
to 4 to 5 hours of my life and then go home and hang out with my kids. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what the fuck?
I was
is that?
thinking the other day, I was at an Orange Theory class
Mm.
and the coach was saying, it's a privilege to be here. And I mean, I loved hearing, she said that many
That's
times.
so nice.
Like, it's a privilege to be able to move your body. It's a
Mhm.
privilege, you know, that you could spend this hour on yourself. And I was thinking, that's a great thing to apply across the board. And then
Yeah.
when I really felt lucky was, I don't really have to remind myself of that
Yeah.
with what we do.
Yes.
Like, I don't have to think, oh, I'm lucky to be here.
Mhm.
I know I am,
yeah.
Mm.
you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think most songwriters feel that. Like,
Mhm.
there's so few of us, but I think that's the through line is this weird gratitude. At $12,000 a year, I still feel like
Mhm.
I was still going.
That was
Tell
my
us
first
about-
draw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of our first draws.
Yeah.
12, 12, 12. Was it like the 12 months, 12 copyrights, 12,000?
I don't remember. I just remember it was 12,000 because I worked part-time jobs
Mhm.
to supplement it, you know, but I was so happy to be able to put songwriter on my occupation line, you know, at the doctor.
On the tax return.
The best.
That's awesome.
What a privilege.
Yeah.
Back to
Yes.
the bops and saddies.
Pops and Saddies.
Hearing you say it is cute.
It's a friend of mine and I were talking yesterday about the statistics of how many songs you write a year
Mhm.
to get one, maybe.
Mhm.
And when you look at those numbers, you've got to get it all out. Back
Yeah.
to your point of
Yeah.
Jody's point of write what you're feeling.
Mhm.
You've got to get it
yeah.
out, right? Do you
Yes.
feel like you kind of have to flush the system, so to speak?
Yeah, this would be
to
interesting.
stay
I'll be
fresh.
interesting to see what you say. I have to write a certain number of songs to write good songs, but if I write too many,
Ooh.
then it is like not good. There's like a sweet spot. Do you feel that?
I do.
Yeah.
And lately I've been kind of excited about the fact that I'm writing less because I'm doing this.
These kinds of things are good for your
this is
songwriting.
really good for
I
my-
agree.
But I have been delighted that writing 3 songs a week
Mhm.
has been like they're all getting the attention
Mm-hmm.
because my brain's fresh. I'm not tired of ideas. I'm not exhausted of ideas, and I'm also so excited to be there because it's my first love. Like
Mm-hmm.
this is kind of my second love. This is like my divorcee remarriage moment.
Uh-huh.
But like it's my first love is songwriting.
Yeah.
And so when I get to go back to it after this, for some reason this lights up that and that lights up
Yes.
this. And I'm just like, I'm so excited, you know?
Yes.
But 3 a week has been unreal and I'm loving it.
Mhm.
And then when I travel, how often do you get like, do you go to LA and just like sit there for 2 to 3, like 5 days or something and just like get it all out? Do you do that much?
Well, so what I have found, I've found a pretty good balance now between here and LA, and I have found some co-writers there that it really works with.
Yeah.
But a lot of times it does help for me if I'm in a mode where where I have something to say by myself.
Mhm.
It's oftentimes good for me to be there because it's harder because it's not my home court, so to
Yeah.
speak. It's harder for me to phone a friend. Because, you know, a lot of times here, you know, if you get something and you get stuck,
Yeah.
you know, music grows so easy to navigate.
Literally.
Like, and
Literally.
I can't tell you the texts I get from people that are like, hey, my write canceled. Do you want to write at 10:30? You know? And so I'm going to always choose to be in that room with somebody to
Yeah.
bounce things off of.
Right.
But when it's a little harder, like, okay, well, I'm going to have to sit an hour and a half of traffic. I'm going to spend the next
locks you
3
in.
days by myself.
Yeah.
That can be real positive. But, you know, but then there's times there where it's like every day hitting it really
Yeah.
hard with other people.
I really enjoy that. Like the LA experience has been really fruitful for me.
I
and
can see you
I
just driving.
because it's so there's no rules. I mean, talk about
Yes.
weird. I mean, it's just like get
Yes.
weirder, weirder, weirder. No, weirder. Like, and I
Yes.
love that. But like it's like marathon. It's like a running. It's like
Uh-huh.
running a marathon. Like it's 2 writes a day. Sleep, go, and all of my creative juices is completely drained by Saturday.
Mhm.
And then I'm like, I'm gonna go home and snuggle my kids, and that's it. And I get to, in a way, it's like it turns my brain off to get
Mhm.
all of that out.
Yes. What
You
I
know?
have found there, it'll be interesting to see how you feel about this. The hardest thing for me about there, my body's almost always on Central Time Zone. You know,
It's
no matter
hard.
where I
Yeah,
am.
totally,
And no matter how long I'm somewhere
Yeah.
else, I'm
Mhm.
on Central Time Zone. And so the later starts
Yeah,
were really
they
hard
are
for
rough.
me.
Mhm.
But once again, in talking about, I'm just kind of trying to just be open to whatever it is.
Mhm.
I've figured that out.
Nice.
Like,
How do you
okay.
survive that? Being an early riser myself,
Uh-huh.
I can imagine, like, I don't know when when do they start?
Well, it's
When-
later.
Usually never before
technically,
noon.
Never
But
Then
that's
before
they
noon.
too.
start later. So
Yeah.
it's 2 levels of later. The time is different later,
Yeah.
and they
it's
start later.
Which is 2:00 our time.
Yeah.
How
I
in
try
the
to
world
go
do you
in-
survive the late nights?
Well, what I try to do is I try to go in half cooking, you know, like
Yeah.
to get the room going.
Right.
Oh,
Like,
got
you know, how do you feel about this?
Yeah.
And sometimes that helps. And also I've just learned, okay, well, maybe the things that I would do at night, I should do in the morning. Like flip it, like go work out or, run errands and not be so, I want to be home by 6.
Yeah, it's like you flip the day.
Yeah.
That's what I typically
kind of a gift too, because the weather's so good.
Yeah.
You can be like, oh, I've got till 2
Take a
o'clock to
little
go work out, run, hike, whatever.
Mm-hmm. I've gotten into it where I really dig it. I have a stamina about it though. I can't go more than 5 days. I was just invited to like stay longer, and I was like, I want to emotional, but I can't. I will start to shrivel and become like, where are my children? I just can't do it. Like it's too long. You know?
It's also that kind of a grind. I just don't. I think after a while, you just you need to breathe,
replenish.
Yeah, I recently have recorded some songs with Shooter Jennings, him producing, and
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was really awesome. And in fact, he and I are going back in the studio this weekend.
Whoa, working on the weekends.
But it's that it's that we don't start till noon, work into the night. And there's something about that when you get into it. But after 3 days, like studio days, I'm like, okay,
cooked.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad that you have a stopping point. There are kids who think they can sustain the 24-hour grind. And I've flirted with it. It doesn't work. You end up something falls apart, whether it's your health or your posture.
Yes.
I feel like that's a big thing with like track guys. I'm like, I can tell sometimes by their posture. I'm like, you've been in here too long.
Yeah.
Kevin.
Well,
sitting up straight. No, but do you know what I'm talking about? It was like there is a hunch that happens when you're really focused on. It's almost like a physical response to like leaning into.
It's gravitational pull. Into the screen.
Totally. And I'm like, I respect it, but also like, you got to get out of this chair and you got to get some sunlight in your face. Like, yeah, those guys grind hard.
They do. I mean, another place where I've noticed it is on the road. So I've been doing a tour with Mary Chapin Carpenter this year, and it's great routing. Like the tour is routed great. And when I say this, I'm not complaining, but I have to be aware of it. The last run we did 13 shows in 16 days. The next run we do 15 shows in 17 days.
That's rock and roll tour.
Yeah, and I said to somebody who I really trust, like, I can do that. Like, it's okay. Like, I don't love days off on the road. And this person said to me, yeah, but after a while, the show starts to suffer. Whether everybody knows that or not, it's what you're talking about. And so it's like, ooh, you don't want that if it's a song, you don't want that for your listener. If it's an audience, you don't want that for your listener. So, you have to figure out ways.
Yes.
Like you said, get out in the sunlight.
Yes.
Whatever it is. Because
touch grass.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Touch grass.
I feel like the managerial world and the label world need to hear what you're saying more than the artists do. Because I don't think the artists, to your point, you're a grown-ass woman and you're going 13? Sure. Yeah. But then someone gave you a little bit of like a heads up, which is thank you, that person.
Yeah.
But the truth is that it's never the artist booking this shit. Like it's always their teams. And then they're wondering why it's like, oh my God, my voice blew out. Oh my God, I'm having a mental breakdown. Oh my God. They make up shit sometimes to be like, I have to not do this show. And it's like, this is preventable. Stop booking so many fucking shows. Like, let these kids have a break. There's also writing on the road. A lot of these kids, like, they want to write on the road.
I've never been able to do that.
Really?
Not as an artist or as a writer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The times that I've tried it, it just...
It's like two different
and it was
modes.
a waste of time for all involved. I went out on the road one time to write with Little Big Town, and every time I see Karen, she apologizes to me. I'm like, you don't need to apologize to me. Like, but I was out there and we got nothing. But, we were like, it was in Canada. We were in locker rooms. They were on a tour with Keith Urban, and it was all like hockey rinks. And it's just hard. It's hard to get something going.
Was there a shower where all of you were in one space? I've been on the road where it's like a locker room showers and they expect you to, well, maybe it's just the songwriter this. Maybe it's just me. But sometimes it's like a gigantic room and they're like, yeah, just lock the door. And you're in this gigantic space with 12 spouts and it's just you and this, and it's unnerving.
That's anytime you're playing an arena.
Yeah.
I don't know of many private showers in arenas. But yeah, I hear of people who only, I know there are some artists who only write on the road.
Yeah.
Hats off to them. I just don't know.
They don't have a choice. Like sometimes there's just
so busy.
no time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the album cycle is like that. They finish their first album is written in 2 years. They start touring. Their second album is written in 2 weeks. You know, because they just don't have time because this one's going off and they need to do this. I just feel like quality of life seems to be a trend that I hope never dies. Like the fact that people are seeing that this is not a sustainable model to like work these children to the bone. Like you have to work in therapy and exercise and nothing time.
Nothing time is big.
The Avicii documentary.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard about it.
Avicii documentary?
No.
Heard about it.
For the professionals listening, it hit me. People who support and work in the music industry, privileged to have clients that are generating the income and work. And that whole what I took away from that documentary was we, as the professionals surrounding an artist or songwriter, need to be very aware and very putting our interest behind the artists. To be aware of their sustainability, just their mental health, their ability to do the deal, because it's brutal. I've been on the road. I know it's horrible.
I feel like they treat like
amazing,
brilliant,
and terrible at the same time. I love the juxtaposition of the road. To me, it's kind of a beautiful place and a very terrifying.
Oh, I
place.
love the road personally.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
but to your point, like. I feel like the way they treat animal, like this is a weird connection, but if you race a horse, if you're like the owner of a horse, like you must treat this animal so that when it's time to race, it's ready, it's rested, it's bathed, it's comfortable. And it's like, to me, the fact that artists are expected to kind of not like perform without any of that care is just kind of like a cautionary tale. Like we are also animals. Yeah. And we can't go that hard and not see like there will be effects, like side effects, you know, whether it's internal, external, behavioral, you know.
It's why you don't see a lot of artists stay married. Like, you know, that's an effect. Like that's a casualty.
You have to care about your home life. And if your managerial staff is just working you into the ground, and then all of a sudden it's like, I have to choose between pleasing the people who handle me and my spouse. And then that spouse has to understand. Oh, it's a mess. It's a mess. Yeah. I think there's a more sustainable model on the way, because you can see it every time an artist posts, guys, I'm so sorry. I just can't. You know? I'm like, this is a first. Madonna never put out that fucking announcement.
Just
like Elvis never said
vulnerable.
I can't.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's a good example.
So I'm excited. Just keep being honest about why you need to stop. And eventually these tours won't be so intense for these kids. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know how to do it.
I am so just like meandering talking.
That's
Is there
okay.
anything that we should say that's like Supian that I've missed? Because
Supian.
I'm having too much fun just like chatting with Brandy. Money, like did we?
I had a question.
Yeah, please,
from
Kevin.
The very beginning of it, just to bring it sort of way back to the beginning. Talking about trying to write the equivalent of "I Can't Make You Love Me," or like that being the lens or the mission or whatever. Is there a point, or was there ever a point where like that sort of mentality was kind of crushing? Like does going for that and then maybe not getting it ever wear on you?
It doesn't on me, and I'll tell you why. Because where I get that's such a great question.
It is.
I remember Stephanie Smith saying to me, every song you write, you need to compare it to the best song you've ever heard. And that always stuck with me, like, oh, wow. You know, because where I get frustrated is when I think I'm doing something really great and nothing's happening.
Oh.
If I feel like, man, I just can't quite reach that bar of greatness, that keeps me reaching.
Yeah.
If I feel like, man, I am knocking it out of the park and nothing's happening here, that's when I
Soul-crushing.
get defeated.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. I mean, identically the same. And there are eras of, music where they're not looking for, I can't make you love me. They're just not. And like both of us have survived huge windows of the last 10, 15 years where absolutely not. They don't want that at all. And so, and you're in here, weeping, crying, pulling it out of everywhere, and you turn it in and your publisher's weeping, crying, feeling every angle. And then it's not quite connecting. And you're like, fuck. But the coolest part about this is that songs live forever.
That's true.
You can't delete them. They're not they're undeletable. It's like the greatest commodity really of all time. It outlives you, and so you never know. This is a question. Maybe we'll end here because this will make me excited to find out what your answer is. But have you ever had a sincerely old song resurface and get cut? I don't give a shit about critically acclaim or radio. Something you were like, finally.
I've had that happen multiple times.
Ooh, give me every single
And I'm
one.
trying to think of a great example. Man,
It's the dream. It's the dream. Songwriters want to believe that
It'll
exists.
Happen. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you an example where it happened for me, myself, in my own artistry. Was on my last record, I recorded a song called Come Back to Me.
Oh.
Okay, and that song was written, on that record, that was the oldest song.
Who did you write it with?
I wrote it with Trevor Rosen and Shane McAnally.
Incredible.
And it was originally recorded by Keith Urban. And we thought it would be a single, and he recorded it very artsy in a way that it was never going to be a single. And I remember there was some disappointment in that. But I was going through songs. Shane and I had been in Salt Lake City working on our musical Shucked.
Oh my God.
And I drove from, which is another good thing to touch on.
Yes.
I can talk about that in a second.
Would love to.
I was driving from Salt Lake City to LA because I was going to start my record the next week. And so I thought, I'm just going to listen to music. I'm going to listen to my catalog. And I had Robin Palmer, who's worked with Shane, send me all of the songs I had written with Shane.
Whoa.
To try, because I knew I had a lot of things that I had forgotten. And I tripped on that. And I thought, I wonder if I'm going to do a work tape of that. That's what I thought. So I get to LA and I do a work tape of it because all I had was the Shane demo and Keith. And what we ended up doing with it in the studio, first of all, when I sent that work tape into everybody involved with the record, they all lost their minds. Like, oh my God, you have to record that. And then what we did in the studio was very different with it than had been done. And it just goes to show you, to me, a great song is a great song is a great song.
Yeah.
And if it was great the day you wrote it, it's going to be great 15 years later.
Yeah.
And that was such a lesson.
I love knowing that. And I know that has actually never really happened to me where a song that, me and my team is like, this is going to get cut. This is going to get cut. It's so freaking good. Most of my activity is pretty quick after,
Yeah.
and I'm still waiting for some of those oldies to somebody goes, oh my God, no one cut this. I am still waiting for that redemptive feeling of this does happen.
Well, I wish I could
proof.
I wish I could tell you. I have other examples. I just can't think of them right now. But I think one thing that might help is to take it back to a work tape because it's impossible for demos to not get dated. No matter what we're doing, I don't know if I would have sent everybody that Shane demo if they would have heard it.
Right.
It's like
it was
the work tape that made it
and
impactful at that time.
Because you're just, when we wrote that song, we were trying to get Keith Urban to cut it. So how do we make this sound the most like what's going on 18 months from now?
Right.
Yeah. And so I do think if you believe in a song, maybe take it back to a guitar vocal or a piano vocal. I think you'd be surprised.
That's an excellent piece of advice.
It is.
It's also a fantastic way to define what a song is from what a recording is.
Yeah.
Which is weirdly controversial to some. Why, songwriters are on the songwriting, why songwriters are on the copyright and why we shouldn't be, but we're missing from the master. Do you know what I mean? I feel like like that conversation is something I hear all the time. It's like, well, what's the difference? Like I did this and that. And I'm like, well, could you play it on a guitar and would you appear anywhere? If, are you in just someone, like if you can't hear yourself at all, when someone plays your song on a guitar, then you didn't write it.
Yeah, that's true.
Is that terrible to say?
No, I don't think that's terrible to say.
But I feel like it's a big, don't, you know what I mean? But I feel like it's important to understand what definably is a song. I mean, that's something that gets discussed in DC all the time, like NSAI and BART and David Israelite. They're constantly trying to be like, this is why we need to make more money because this is what a song is. It's weirdly controversial. It shouldn't be, but I think you just made it as clear as day. Yeah. If you can just play it on a piano and if the copyright, if you're on the copyright and you don't hear yourself when someone just plays the song on a piano or on a guitar, then you might not be a writer. Anyway,
I think a song. I mean, I think a song it's the lyric and it's the melody.
Correct.
If you're not part of either of those
and
two
the chords,
things,
I think the chords.
Oh yeah, the chords.
But truly, yes.
To me, because to me the chords, even though they're not the melody, they wouldn't be there without the melody.
Surely,
wouldn't be there
but they would
chords.
change the sound of that performance if the chords were different. So I'm like, let's get like nitty gritty of it. It is the chords you play. It's whatever sheet music would reflect.
Yes, it's what sheet music would reflect.
Any hoodle.
Yeah.
Just a thought. Yeah. Brandy, should we talk about Shucked before you go? Because Shane was here and we got to talk about it. It is absolute. Like I saw it in New York.
Oh, I love that you saw it in New York.
With Marin. We howled laughing. I was like, this is like, I'm from New York. I understand the value of like what Broadway values. It was so neat to see my two worlds in one play.
Oh, I love that.
I was really like, do you get what's happening? Because the wordplay is relentless laughter to tears. Just laughter and the puns and oh my God. I mean, it was so brilliantly done.
Oh, thank you.
You must be so proud.
I am proud. And it's crazy what that show is doing, because we had a 9-month run on Broadway. I wanted us to have 9 years. We opened in a time that was tough because we were coming out of COVID.
Yeah.
But we were a success, but what I'm really seeing is now we're becoming a hit through touring.
Yes.
That's what's really happening. And it blows my mind that people like if you write a musical, and I would encourage any songwriter who has that in their heart to do it. The worlds you touch and the places the people you meet. I mean, I went to the opening of the show in LA and Jane Fonda was there,
Oh my God.
And
so dope.
Yeah. And I'm getting to meet people that I never would have thought, I'm a huge Carpenter's fan and Richard Carpenter came to the show.
Wow.
Yeah. And so it's just incredible. And it's such a team. So to be a part of a team where you're sharing all of it, the highs, the lows, it's really something. And it's a long journey.
I was just going to ask you about that because songwriting is a short journey writing wise, long in other ways, but the writing is short. You get to finish something, in a day, maybe 2 days, maybe 3 days if you're really crazy about it. But plays are different.
Yeah, it took us 11 years.
11 years. And the people that put their hands in it are visual people, not audio people.
Yes.
It's all these technical things that you have to like adhere to their rules, which I imagine is like stretching a whole new muscle.
It does. I mean, the biggest muscle I felt stretched in it was that we're told say it in 3.5 minutes.
Mhm.
If you can say it in 3, that's even better. But what happens in that world, we have a 7-minute opening number about corn. And so let's figure out all these ways to talk about corn for 7 minutes. And, and also I've always loved songs that talk about a split second for 3.5 minutes. And so for me, that part of of the Broadway world, I really felt like I thrived in.
Yes.
Of like, you can only tell this much of the story because we have 2.5 hours to tell the whole story.
Right.
So I loved that part of it, and it made me better at it. And just the collaboration between yourself and a music director is a big, important part of it.
Huge.
Yeah, because, what it allowed Shane and I to do is just write songs. And the music director, Jason Howland, who's amazing and a great composer in his own right, he would musicalize our songs and figured out how to make those two worlds work.
Can we define that music director for the audience and for me? So what did he?
So the music director is also we had 2 different music directors in the process of the development. Jason ended up being our music director when we opened. But what they do is they take your songs and they orchestrate them and arrange them. They write dance breaks in. They work.
Oh, so they would expand the number.
Yeah, they work a lot. The music director has to work with everybody to make the music work. And most times the music director is also the conductor of the pit. And so they're working with the book writer who has spoken word over the music. I can't tell you how many times Robert Horn, our book writer, would say, "Jason, it's stepping on the joke," like those kinds of things. And then, they work with the actors, getting the keys right, writing parts. We would write a song that would be for a quartet, but Jason would be the one writing the vocal arrangement. And so they do a lot.
Like a tonal thing with Broadway that is just different than what we're used to packaging.
The palette.
The palette. Like there's a sound of Broadway. However, I feel like, weirdly, the play was just a series of 3 minutes after 3 minutes after 3 minutes. Like I personally could sense Nashville's onslaught of influence on the script, because all the jokes hit within this window. It's a relentless laughter.
Yeah, it's relentless
laughter. They don't give you a minute. Have you seen it? Oh my God,
I can't
beg, run. Like it's so much fun. And if you appreciate country music too, again, the marriage between the two has never been done better.
Well, that really was Jason Howland, and I'll tell you what he said to us in his interview that made me know he's the right person. He was the music director for Beautiful, which was the Carole King musical.
Wow.
And he said, I see this show as having the same, my role would be the same in this as it was in Beautiful, which was I had to take these Carole King pop songs and musicalize them in a way that people that have heard those songs for years won't be turned off.
Yes.
But musicalize them enough. He said I needed to write key changes that people wouldn't hear, they would feel, so that Broadway audiences would get what they wanted.
Yes.
And he did that so well.
He did.
Yeah. And I thought,
what a challenge.
Yeah. He's the right person.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
It's interesting difference subtle difference though in like he had records to work off of with Beautiful. And I don't know how far you guys took it with what he was working from.
Some of it would just be work tapes. A lot of times he would build a demo and send it to us.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, of what he heard. Sometimes we had demos, but usually it was guitar vocal, piano vocal, but he would build a demo and so that he could show the actors, mostly so he could show us actually. And so we could say, yeah, that feels good. He did a lot.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I always know, and this happens a lot with you, I always know my admiration for someone based on my jealousy, but it's not the jealousy that you would assume. It's the jealousy of being in the room where things were born. Like I have such deep jealousy for the room where you and Shane laughing. Like I just wish I was there.
That would be fun to watch.
It. And Mama's Broken Heart. I can't tell you how many times I've thought, God, they must have just been tickled when they came up with that, and Follow Your Arrow, like all of these things, and knowing, ahead of time, wow, this is going to bother people. I am so like, when I know that I admire someone, it's that jealousy swell of like, God, I wish I was there. And Brandy, you're one of those people for me on so many levels. I just admire you so much.
Laura, it goes both ways. I mean, I mentioned I could use a love song. I remember hearing that and being like, man, I wish I had written that.
It's how we love each other. I think with songwriters just really love this thing. And I'm so grateful you were here.
Oh,
this time has been so magical. And thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thanks
again,
for being here.
Our fanciest pantsiest so far. So far. Oh, thank you for being here, Brandy.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm going to do the obligatory like, share, subscribe, leave us a comment on YouTube and anywhere else that you can leave a comment, as long as it's nice or mean or whatever. Honestly, we just need the attention.
Take it. Give us all your shit. No, we love y'all. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Thank you,
and
Brandy.
Always send, you're also welcome to send me questions. We've got a backup of questions.
Ooh, we do have a trio episode scheduled.
We need a trio.
So
we'll do a Q&A. We're due. So if you have anything, send it over. All right. Thanks, y'all.
Cheers.
Thank you, Brandy.
Thank you guys.